Ladies!
Caught me off guard.
Alex like that. And gentlemen, what's going on? You gotta catch him off guard, right, Emi? What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? You know what it is, you know who it is, you know where it is, and you know every other was who, what, where, when, and how. Ladies and gentlemen, today is a very special episode. How do I put into words how ecstatic I am? Sorry, I had to adjust my height because we got a tight set over here. You know, we got like 17 cameras rolling.
He's calling me short again.
Live. And that was
As a short joke.
No, but was Mini-Me was a middle school
Wee
reference.
Man.
I knew Wee Man.
Wee Man.
I'm sorry. I know this man since middle school, and that was Wee Man. We took a limo to middle school prom.
That's jackass,
That's
boy.
how you know. You got to take a limo to middle school prom. Ladies and gentlemen, speaking of limos to middle school prom, to my right-hand side, we got one of my closest friends, one of my long-time friends, someone that I can call my confidant, someone that I can call when I'm feeling down and out. You need a little that. You need someone that's going to be there for you. You need someone that's a true friend. Ladies and gentlemen, to my right-hand side, we got Emi in his house.
Yes, sir.
What's
There we
going
go.
on? Ladies and
sir.
gentlemen, behind the scenes, we got two gentlemen that are always on top of everything. You may have seen them handle a technical malfunction a few episodes ago when 1, 2, 3, 4, all the lights went out and we are speaking in darkness. What are we gonna do? And I can't bitch them out because I'm mid-show, so I'm only going here, playing charades with them, kind of like, do this, do that, whatever, and it works. And they made it work. Exactly. Raven, where the fuck
Looks like
is
a
the
fucking
sound?
baseball coach over there.
Ladies and gentlemen, to behind the scenes, first off, we got a man, this man is a barber. This man is a barber, and this man has a beard. And this man also has a variety of machines, that he can take to your face, take to your body, make art. Maybe you need maybe my man Alex Caceres needs a little touch up on the new do, hit up my main man, Diego Miami Barber. What's going on?
The man of many blades. Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, behind the scenes as well, we have an audio man. We have a man who he's an audio extraordinaire. You see him breaking it down behind the scenes. You see all the moves. You see all the fashion that he has. He has a day to remember. He had a little Good Brother sweater on before. You got to rep all the different brands. We got a man who will get your sound, take it to the next level every single time. Let's say you're a rapper. Let's say you're a singer. Let's say you're a performer of any sorts. Really, you really just need one man to hit up to take your sound to the next level. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Raven. What's going on?
I want to pay money for that intro. Just saying.
I got you. We'll talk about it. Play royalties. We'll do something. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an audience today as well. You know her. We got the big O behind the scenes. Hanging out. Playing that voyeur role. Just watching from behind. Watching from a distance. Just enjoying the show. And ladies and gentlemen, this next introduction is the introduction you've all been waiting for. Ladies and gentlemen, coming off a remarkable performance off of a fight night with a beautiful, just showing his ground game is next level. Showing his ground game has not only has gotten better over the years, but maybe some of you have underplayed this man's ground game, and this man in his last performance went out and he made a statement. Ladies and gentlemen, to my left-hand side, we have UFC veteran Alex Bruce Leeroy Caceres. What's going on?
Yeah.
One of those. Alex, what's going on, brother?
Awesome.
Everything's going good. How you doing, guys?
Can't complain. We are happy to have you back on the show. It's the second time around. Can't wait for the third and the fourth and the fifth. Alex, Talk to us. First of all, I got to get something out of the way. Everybody wants to know. Everybody needs to know. It made news on CNN. It made headlines. The haircut. The people. They clamor.
Yeah, bro.
The people,
What?
they clamor. Everybody, the news heard round the world. The news heard round the globe. The fro, it's gone. Alex, why?
Really didn't have any major reason behind it. To be quite honest, I've actually been trying to get rid of it for a while, just because I had gotten it shaped up a little while back, and the guy who shaped it up fucked it up, and it was uneven.
So you should have come to Diego Miami Barber. You know what I'm talking about? He gotta get you right. You know, gotta get that plug in anytime, and we better get a motherfucking repost, Diego. Alex, he fucked it up.
And so it's just a little uneven. It's been like that for the past couple years, and I just never really got around to redoing it. So I'm just let me just cut it off.
Did you?
Yeah, man. I mean, that was left field as fuck, dude. Right? Because we seen the first fight of the year, and you got the staple fro on, and then I don't know if it happened to you, man, but the next fight come around, and you walked out there, and I was like,
So that's a doppelganger. Where's
I think they announced the wrong person. What the fuck is going on here, dude?
I didn't post anything up until
Legit
then either.
super
so
left
it's
field,
just,
bro.
Yeah.
Because for a second I was like,
well, not really on purpose either. I just kind of fell off of social media, man. It's been difficult to keep up. I'm using it to message people on it now, just to get a hold of people that I don't got their numbers and
right.
shit.
It's a pain in the ass to keep up with that stuff, man. I feel
It's
that.
just pointless. It's pretty much pointless up to a point. You know, if it's not for communication, keeping in touch, and learning, you know, then anything else beyond that is just, I don't know. I feel like it's just a waste of time, and I got too much shit to do. I just moved into a house, and now I'm just trying to pack shit away. And not only that, before that, just the more I train, the less time I have for any of that crap, and then the more of a bad taste it puts in my mouth that whenever I give up any time to do that instead of the shit that I know I need to do.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, did you notice a difference though without the weight of the hair? I don't know. Like, did you feel more aerodynamic?
Well, it definitely makes weight cutting a little bit easier because when your hair gets wet, just judging where you're at, it's difficult. So sometimes I try to weigh myself after showers.
Oh, shit. 100%.
And it's like, I don't know where I'm really at when I'm going to be dried out and whatnot. So it does make it a little bit easier. I don't retain anything on my head. But other than that, it doesn't really make a difference. They didn't feel too much of a difference.
Talk to me about this last fight. Clearly, like I said, I felt that you went out and you made a statement. We were actually watching it earlier. What was the intensity? What was the energy going into this bout, coming off of such a display of mixed martial arts against Hooper before? Talk to me about maybe the difference in game plan or just the general outlook for this bout in particular.
Well, it wasn't. I really don't think about fights like that. You know, I don't have a game plan. I don't have like a set of moves or ideas that I want to try when I'm in there. But I'm kind of like an in the moment fighter. So I do know these skills and I do practice them all the time. And I do understand what kind of fighter the other guy is, or at least I try to. And if the guy, wants to try and grapple a lot, I try to make that more difficult for him. If he wants to strike a lot, I try to make that more difficult for him. So I try to make myself into an all-around fighter as best as I can. But other than that, I don't really have a game plan for this fight. They changed my opponent so many times, so that it was just it's just another fight, really. To be honest with you,
did you have? So how much of a heads up did you have for this opponent? Was it just one day or something along those lines? Correct?
Yeah, it was like 2 or 3 days.
Okay, and did you get any sort of chance? I know you told us in our the first episode we had that you don't watch fights, right?
Yeah, I don't watch the sport, but like if I have an opponent, like
you'll watch the tape.
We'll watch some fights of him. Like I don't really like study tape, to be honest with you. Like I guess the way I do it, I probably look like I'm half-assing it. But I just look at the guy and I see, like, okay, he likes to do this, he likes to do that, and
right, you find his tendencies, whatnot.
Yeah, in that sense. But then I don't like to like make judgments because everybody comes back differently. Everybody's always a different fighter every time they step in there. So I don't try to make those judgments. I try to leave myself kind of open. I've practiced martial arts for a very long time, and I feel that I'm going to be ready for whatever's going to be thrown at me when I'm in that situation, that I can react quick enough. So I'm not going to make it a a plan to dodge a punch or anything. When it
Right.
happens, it happens. I'm gonna try and catch him slipping.
Right. I mean, that makes sense. It's more because any fighter could adapt, for any given fight and whatnot. Yeah, that makes
You
sense.
drink your water. You're good. Don't worry about it. Drink your water, bro. Do you feel the correct me if I'm wrong, was it a right shot to the body?
Yeah.
So was that the defining shot? Was that dropped him and kind of made him lose his guard, or what do you feel led him to his demise?
Well, I felt early on, in the fight, he came in throwing a lot of hard low kicks, and I was able to check pretty much all of them, and I felt like just checking those kicks. And I know a couple of like the instep of where his ankle connects with his shin and
Dude,
foot.
just some of the sounds you can hear now with no audience. Oh my God.
I felt he connected a couple times with like my knee, so like I knew he had to have,
That you won those, yeah.
like he hurt his foot, Then that's when he switched stance for a little bit, and then like thought about kicking the next time, and that's when I started kicking his leg. But I think it was that head kick, when I caught him early on, I saw him like almost like duck in a little bit, and I hit him it kind of just grazed off his head, just almost missed him.
Ooh.
But then I
Yeah,
felt
that would have
him,
been the end right there.
I saw him like his eyes flashed a little bit, so I knew he was in trouble, and right there he was like just kind of baiting me to come in. I'm waiting to close that distance, so I know he was looking for a takedown at that moment. And when I was pushing him against the fence, that body shot, it did land. I felt it land nice and clean, and then I don't know if he felt it as hard as I want to believe he did, but I did see his arms drop.
Yeah. His demeanor changed immediately.
Yeah, and then he kind of shot in for a sloppy takedown, but like on the way in, I know I landed like a short uppercut on his
I definitely
face.
saw it because he dropped his head and it was really sloppy.
And then he kind of like just fell into it, and like I felt like there was no give, like he wasn't like resisting. So then like at that moment, I paused for a split second. I'm like, do I keep hitting him? I'm like, no, let me just actually go for the choke, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah, and that's all she wrote right there. Yeah, that was all she. After that, it was just fucking. It was a workshop. I mean, he was showing us how to do it at that point.
But I knew, yeah. Go
I
ahead.
thought it was just Dancing with the Stars. You know what I'm saying? We had a whole ass routine ready to go, bro. Talk to me about the dancing. Talk to me about do your opponents, do they sometimes get offended by the smiling in the cage or the ring? Do they feel the octagon? Do they feel like maybe you're disrespecting or you don't take them seriously because you're smiling? Have you ever had that?
Well, yeah, I've heard people say that. I don't know so much about my opponents, but I've heard people like, I guess you like internet trolls and shit, like say stuff like I'm disrespectful to the martial arts and that I'm a dishonor to the sport or some shit like that, along those lines. No. And it's like that I'm taking it like a joke. I'm not taking it seriously. Well, like, I believe Bruce Lee, he said it best, it's like a game, but a game that you play seriously. You got to enjoy it, but you're going to grind. It's like when you're playing football, you're enjoying the game. No one's like dreading, like, oh, fuck, I hate playing this game. No, you're enjoying the game, but it's a serious game. Like, you're going to grind.
Yeah, you're clocking somebody or they're clocking you.
Yeah, you're going to try and score on them. It's a competitive game. So I enjoy that. I truly enjoy that. So honestly, when I'm smiling, it's just I enjoy fighting. I enjoy that I'm actually can do this legally. And get paid for it too. That's another plus. But either way, like I don't have to go and get into confrontations to fight. I can just now it can be more, how would you say, professional? Just
right. It's a little more organized.
Yeah. And like I don't know you. Like no matter what you say to me, is not going to get me mad. I don't know who you are. You don't know me well enough to get me mad.
Right.
The only thing is that they're paying me to fight you, and I want to. So other than that, it's impersonal to that extent. And usually fights to me on the street or whatever are usually impersonal. It's just, you're trying to do something to me and I don't want you to do something to me. We're going to stop that. Like and that's it. I'm not going to take it further than it needs to be taken. I just want you to stop doing what you're trying to do to me right now.
That's kind of crazy, dude.
Bruce Leeroy with a Bruce Lee quote. That's beautiful there. That's beautiful.
And I just noticed I got a fucking Bruce Lee sticker right here.
Got to do it right. Do you still
Oh, I'm sorry. And the dancing is just I just pick songs that I like and I just like song.
Yeah.
That's it.
You rehearse them or not?
No,
No, you just on the
feel
spot.
Dancing in the mirror
On
real
the
quick.
spot.
just feel the music. That's all.
Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Last episode we had together, you had spoken very heavily about there being a chip on your shoulder. Do you still feel the same way? And why don't you talk to us a little bit about that?
Chip on my shoulder. I guess I don't necessarily feel so much like that in a sense. I do feel, what's that word? I still do feel like hungry and, I guess a little bit more vicious about my lifestyle, aggressive, I guess. But it's not towards anybody or anything in particular. If anything that gives me any anxiety or any type of feeling that way is just how we just don't take into consideration common sense, or like how things like we can look at something that should be common sense, but we still haven't changed it just because it's just the way that it is, or we just haven't got there. And like, it's one of those things like, I guess when you get there, you'll be like, oh shit, I guess you'll be happy about it. You'll be like, oh man, it's great that we made this progress. But then again, at the same time, you're like, well, that fucking took forever though.
Yeah.
Like things that we should be realizing other than that. But when it comes to fighting, other than like, I understand what happened in this fight, the opponents changed like 2 times. So I got whoever they threw at me. But other than that, I don't feel like they're treating me I guess the other, what was it? The chip on my shoulder would have been like being a gatekeeper for the UFC, fighting all the newcomers, these undefeated guys. And, then I would have to like they got everything to gain and I got everything to lose in those type of fights. Fighting on the edge.
Balls, by the way.
Yeah. And I wouldn't say no to any fight, I mean, it's just, it is what it is. And not only that is, sometimes those are the tougher fights. They're younger than you. They're up and coming. They're undefeated. They have all the confidence in the world. So, taking those fights is also a great test for a person that's also a veteran as well, because you're going to meet these guys one day or the other.
Right.
And also it's a great boost of confidence being 32 years old, and
hell yeah.
This guy's 19 and I just completely blew him out the water. And
Back to the playground, baby.
Just, because I know I was hard to handle at 19 as well. I had so much fucking energy. It was
the ultimate fight. See the ultimate fighter.
Yeah, it definitely comes off like that, right? Because sometimes you see them and it's not that they look less fearful. It's just that maybe they don't know how scary it can get in those situations. So a lot of them just run in headstrong. And yeah, they'll find a wall. They'll definitely find a wall,
I know I look like a beatable guy, like to anybody. And my record shows it because
if they've ever seen you, I don't know that they would think that, but
yeah. Well, I just have so many fights, and sometimes people just look at the record or look what I'm susceptible to. And that I can see where I'm beatable in a lot of ways, but it's very like what people, I guess, don't understand is like, yes, I'm beatable, but I've never gotten my ass beat. Like,
that's the
like
difference.
The people that beat me.
Raven, put that in a rap, please. Put that in a rap.
No, but like the people that beat me, they will like either submit me, they will catch me, or it'll be a decision win, and they're looking worse than I'm gonna look.
Right.
Like
they had to fight for it.
If we're gonna get into a fight, like I'm usually better scrapping. Than
it'll be a war.
Yeah,
you might lose, but it'll be a war. Yeah,
but so like it's just and I think that's where they miss out on it, and it's something that I had to work through because mentally I was always my coaches noticed this a lot, especially John Crouch at the lab when I was training over there. He says I tend to slow down to people's pace, to make it more of a fight. And then when I stop doing that, I just seem to be like 2 speeds ahead of the person now.
Interesting.
So I stopped holding.
So you're there for the love of it, bro. If you're going down to their step,
but I'm not.
So you're not trying to set the pace?
Well, like I stopped trying to set the pace. Like. Now I'm just moving at my pace, and which is why I feel like the last few fights I've been outpacing the person. Just like
that's a way to put it. Yeah.
So I'm just trying not to like go down to the level to make it into a fight or and stuff like that. I'm still gonna enjoy it, but I'm just not gonna like. I guess a good fight would have been like the Martin Bravo fight in Vegas. Like that was a fight where I kind of like mashed this guy's pace and got into a brawl, for the fuck of it. Because I enjoy, but
for the funsies.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah.
For the fuck of it. You know,
But
just another Tuesday.
yeah, something that I don't
Put
have
on
to
a
do,
show.
especially to advance in careers. You know, something I don't have to do.
Right.
You know, I've already proven that. You know, I can go for 5 rounds and whatnot, just straight punches with anybody. So it just doesn't matter to me. I just want to win fights right now, make some money, and keep training.
Hell yeah.
That's absolutely beautiful. Talk to us about a little bit, how's the situation, or how different was it to have to train? And I believe, obviously you did it for the prior fight as well. But how is it to have to train in the middle of a worldwide pandemic, to have to, abide by so many rules, to get your body, to get your physique, to get not only your body, but to get yourself into that, that mind frame, and that peak physical form that you need to be in to compete.
So basically you're saying, how is it like to train when I don't got to worry about anybody else's shit but my own?
What? But was it? They weren't giving you. They weren't because I know it was a pain in the ass with Miami and gyms for a while. You were able to train. That wasn't an issue.
No. I kept training. I opened up the gym myself, and then I actually stopped training with the freedom fighters. Over bullshit. And I started going back to train, actually, which I wanted to train for a long time. It's just, time wise, we never matched up with Zen Jiu Jitsu and Enrico Coco.
Okay, yeah.
Friend of mine from high school. We wrestled in the same wrestling team together. So
Shout out. I met him because he had a grappling match against Danny Chavez.
okay.
Yeah. So he, cool guy.
Very good grappler. Very good martial artist in general though.
Remarkable.
And so he's basically the guy that I did the camp with last time. We just opened the gym. It was just me and him sparring each other for a few weeks.
Jesus.
Hey, let's go fuck each other up.
Depending on situations, of course, working on certain things. But other than that, just going at it. And it was a lot easier, man. There's no crowds. There's no other people that are not as serious or about your camp or actually training or about their career at all in general. So they don't have that kind of energy. They're not bringing that energy to the gym. They're not slowing you down in that way. They're not bitching and moaning. The only people that are surrounding you are the people that want to see you succeed at that moment. So they're doing everything that they can to help you. And not only that, you're feeding off each other, and it's more like a closed training. So there's no distractions. It's complete concentration. It's what a martial artist should
actually
desire.
Right.
That's the way that I train. I do all my physical conditioning at home. Mostly. I do go to the gym sometimes, but I have all my equipment that I need. And really, it's to get in physical conditioning really well, and I never get tired in fights, is do basic shit really, 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 really intensely.
Oh, yeah, bro.
There is no other way.
That's one
Just
plus
picture this
one.
dude doing 1,000 push-ups.
That's
bro,
1 plus
every
1
morning.
right there.
Well, yeah, I do lift weights, and I do, but I don't do anything crazier than Olympic lifts, like deadlifts, squats. Sometimes I'll bench, military press and stuff like that, but basic lifts and stuff like that. But really, I think what gets me in the best shape is sprints. Sprint hard and long.
That's the worst fucking part of any sport I've ever practiced.
I hate it.
Was that shit, bro?
I fucking hate it. But I swear to God, when I get in, I don't get tired.
God, well, it makes fucking sense for sure, dude.
So do you prefer the closed door fights?
Oh, hell yeah.
For real?
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, you got nobody yelling
Yeah, it's less bullshit.
bullshit, which I don't really pay attention to that shit anyway.
You don't feed off that. So you walk in, there's fucking 10,000 whatever the people. You don't feed off the energy.
I'm dancing just the same when there was nobody there.
I mean,
Anyway.
he's got a good point, bro. He was fucking out there moving.
Busting it down. Busting it down.
And that should add some clarity too, because a lot of people say, "Oh, he's over there. He's just glad to be there. Oh, like all this, he feeds off the energy." I'm like, no, man, this is just what I like to do. And yeah, I'm this way all the fucking time. It's not like you're catching me at a moment. Oh, like,
Right.
oh, this is him at a fight. No, this is me walking on the street, and I just so happen to get into a fight.
That's hilarious, bro. Hell yeah.
I have one question. With the years and
Say it with your chest.
with the years and experience that you've had in the fighting industry, period, what do you feel is the biggest lesson that you've taken with you and that you've learned and has allowed you to be just a more evolved person?
That's called using your diaphragm right there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, the biggest lesson that I've learned in life in general, you can always get better, and it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop, and I feel like it's like fine wine, gets better with age, you know. And
Shout out J-Lo.
I do not feel like it's weird. It's weird, and I don't know what it is. You know, maybe I've always been a late bloomer, you know, so I don't know if I'm hitting like my peaks later on in life or anything.
You're just hitting 20s right now.
Like I can't even grow.
Same.
Bro.
But I'm fucking 32.
You just gotta take a little biotin. A little
Listen, Alex,
biotin.
that's
all you
bullshit,
need.
dude.
A little
all right? You got
biotin. I'm
this,
telling you.
You see this, bro? He's talking about can't grow shit.
Nah,
He's got
man, you need a little
fucking
biotin. I'm gonna put you on game. You put.
But whatever, I feel younger than I did when I started.
That's good, man. That's
and
good.
I have no major injuries. I have no joint problems whatsoever.
That's good. That's well, hell yeah.
Knock on wood.
Hell yeah.
That's a blessing, man. That's a blessing.
But I just don't
Amen.
see it stopping anytime soon. You know, so I'm just.
Yeah, what? Come on, bro.
Hell yeah.
I don't take damage in my fights like that, so I'm ready to go.
How would you describe your relationship with the UFC?
Oh, really good.
Yeah?
Really good. Yeah. I never turned down fights. They always got me working. So
Can't complain.
Right?
I got work. You know, like I got work.
In these Corona times.
Bro, seriously. What would you say, or what would you tell a young fighter who's just looking to get into it, who's passionate about it? What would you tell the 12-year-old, 14-year-old, 15-year-old, whatever the case, who's telling you like, hey, I want to do this, I want this to be my future. What would you tell them?
Well, man, well, definitely it ain't easy. Nothing good is ever easy like that. But for the most part, I guess, I know it sounds a little cheesy when you say like never, ever, ever give up. But I mean, like that's where it kind of lies, no matter how many times you get knocked down and no matter how hard it is, and do it when you don't want to do it, that's when you're going to get better. So it's just, you got to enjoy it really too. I guess if I want to put it in better words, find your why. When your why becomes big enough, the how just kind of falls into place. You're going to find out how, but you got to know why that you want to do it. And I see a lot of fighters coming up, and the reasons why they want glory, they want fame, they want to be noticed, they want to get into the UFC, But I think the people that are more successful are martial artists, the people that just do it because they want to fight. And the UFC seems to be a place where they can do it in. That wasn't, it wasn't, or do it in against the best. But that the UFC is not their goal. Their goal is to get better. Yeah, their goal.
Yeah, they're just looking for the challenge.
Yeah, they're martial artists, and then you have a lot of sport or prize fighters or sportesians, people that play the sport, that want to achieve prowess within the paradigms of the sport. And I think for me, that the advice I'd have to give to a person would be do it for the more pure reason, the lasting reason. Do it for life. Don't do it for...
That's like you said, the how will come. You'll end up in the UFC if you end up in the UFC, but you just got to get out there and do it, and eventually it falls into place.
Well, good, because the logic's going to be there. If you're trying to get better every day, then you will be there no matter what. But if you're trying to get good enough to get there, you might just fall short.
Right.
Have you ever experienced, sorry, don't
No worries.
Have you ever, if you have, experienced a plateau? And if so, what do you do about it? Like, how drastic is the change? And I don't just mean within the octagon. I mean outside of it, even in your life.
Well, there's something that I like to always try and say is like, whenever you have a problem, you want to try and change the problem. If you can't change the problem, you got to change your mind. So that's usually the case. And I've hit plenty of plateaus. I feel like I came off of a recent one before these last three fights. But I had plenty of plateaus, and every time I hit it, like there's always that question, am I going to keep doing this? And am I cut out for this? Am I good enough for this? And you're always going to have those doubts, and you don't want to go and try it again while you have these doubts. You need to supersede that mindset. So what's helped me is I try to find the reason why I did it in the first place, the reason why I want to keep doing it. I guess usually I try to shock my system in a sense, you know? So some things that I like to do is definitely take some time off, but not normally. I like to go travel, usually get outdoors. If I can go camping, hiking, road tripping and stuff like that. That usually puts my mind into better perspective. Recently, I've been doing a lot more of yoga every day, you know, meditation, and just being more conscious and aware of how and what I eat, you know, and truly being in the moment when I'm eating and truly enjoying the food that I'm putting into my body and having it be absorbed in every, I guess, possible way that would benefit me.
Right.
Alex, a lot of people swear by, you know, by that sort of lifestyle, you know, the yoga, the food, you know. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that? How, you know, how your lifestyle directly impacts your success inside the octagon?
Well, I don't think it's the lifestyle like yoga. I think you can really do anything, because sometimes I don't do just yoga. Like I might sprinkle in there. Sometimes I do like, I guess, forms of qigong or.
What's qigong for the uneducated like me?
Well, it's like if you ever see people like doing like the tai chi and like moving
Oh,
slow.
okay, gotcha.
You know,
Kind of like capoeira.
yeah. They're building up basically internal energy with slow movements. The way that I like to look at it, it's like, especially when it comes to martial arts, is I'm doing all the motions in a martial art, but more to the extreme and to the most extreme and to the most negative, I guess, extents that the motions can go. So instead, like throwing a punch might be going out here, but it's just to understand the full range of the motion, so that when you do it in full speed, you'll be able, with that understanding, you'll be able to hit, like, I guess, those angles better, in a sense. But
Kind of like a wax on, wax off type.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Speaking of Cobra Kai earlier,
like,
right?
like Ben Henderson says it good. Like if you can do it, if you can do it slow, then it's smooth, and smooth is fast.
It's like when you're learning how to swing when you're learning how to swing a bat, you don't start with somebody throwing it at you. You put the ball on the tee, and you just get the motion. You get
Thanks,
the,
Diego.
His fucking T-balls, huh?
But well, so is that what you are kind of practicing toward at the end of the fight when they are, you know, raising your hand or whatever? Is that what you're doing?
Well, that's just one form of a kata, I guess. You know, I'm doing something, but like, yeah, I'll do stuff similar to that, probably a lot slower and more relaxed. Sometimes it does speed up here and then, you know, if I'm doing more dynamic moves when it comes into jumping into the moves and stretching low and stuff like that. So it's kind of like a very mobile yoga, and it's pretty interesting. It's like there is a very ancient martial arts, an Indian martial arts. I forgot what the name is. It's like Kalav Parati or something like that. But it looks like yoga in like fast forward motion, but with like swords and like fist fighting and shit. So
That's a P90X yoga right there.
You said it's of Indian origin.
yeah, well, that's where Kung Fu is originated, because it was a Indian prince
Nadav, can you
named
Google that?
Booty.
Nadav.
Yeah.
Named Booty Rama, and he came to the North Shaolin Temple, and he taught those monks that were just monks at the time and getting raided for their goods. He taught them the 5 animal forms of Shaolin Kung Fu, and then that's when they became the fighting Shaolin monks, and then they would never get raided again because they were able to defend themselves. But it was an Indian prince who taught them that.
Kriya yoga.
Huh?
Kriya yoga.
No, like something Parati, like at the end of it. It's like they have some swords and shields, and sometimes
That's
they fight
crazy.
barehanded.
Damn.
Oh, that's the tiger, the snake, the crane.
Yeah.
Oh, what was that show, bro? It was WB 39. It
I
was
know
Shaolin
exactly.
something, dude.
Brain mantis.
Yeah. You got the mantis, you got
With
the monkey style.
with
Can't remember.
with the talismans or whatever.
No, that's the Jackie Chan show. That's a different show.
Jackie
bro. That's a
Chan
different
show, fire. Shout
Those
out
are the
Jackie
Zodiac
Chan.
ones, the dragon,
Yeah,
the rat.
What got you into, you know, the whole Bruce Lee, the being into the ancient origins of mixed martial arts? You're very, you know, well spoken and educated in that realm. How did all that come to be?
Well, my first influence with Bruce Lee was my father showing me Bruce Lee movies, you know, so I did fall in love with the dynamic movements and, you know, his talent and everything. But I guess what got me more into it was definitely his philosophies, which led me to wanting to open more of my mind, and I guess led me just trying to be more mindful of the things that I do. And I think mindfulness is key when we're doing anything in life. You know, it should be the only filter that we have throughout our thought process. You know, we should always be mindful of the things we do, what we eat, how we perform, and not only that, of the things that we do autonomously, like breathing or thinking, in a sense, walking, movement itself. How are we moving? Is it doing justice for our body? You know, are we sleeping the right way? You know, little things like that. And I think just being appreciative, it helps you to be appreciative of what you have. And it's life, you know,
Right.
You're alive. And then you can actually notice yourself breathing and walking, waking up, sleeping. These are beautiful things. And we lose sight of what to appreciate. The fact that I'm alive, whole, well, you know, is one of the biggest things we got to learn to appreciate. And mindfulness helps me achieve that. And then I live in America, and I have a house, and I have a car, and I have clothes, and I can eat. I'm not starving. So I'm very appreciative of that. And a lot of people are, you know, usually fall into a hole of negativity, and it leads into things like racism. It leads into things like bigotry and separatist mindsets. You know, it leads to things like police brutality. And it's because not just the police, but the people that are victims of the police have a certain mindset, you know?
Right. Right. They get caught in that loop.
Yeah. And we do attract these things. We do attract these lifestyles. I'm not saying what police do, what police do and what racists do are right. You know, it's completely wrong. Of course, I'll fight against it till my dying breath. But at the same time, we can live and we can perform in a way which doesn't allow it to infiltrate into your life. And if it does, we can perform and live in a way which can also protect and preserve our lives or the lives of the people that do not want to interact in such negative behaviors. But I think we have to really start appreciating the shit that we have. You know, I think it's lack of appreciation that we go look for something to fill that empty void within ourselves. You're alive. And you're not a kid in Syria that got their arms blown off by some fucking bomb. You're not starving in Africa. You're not starving in the middle of the fucking South America because you got to grow corn for the cows that we eat in fucking America while they can't even touch the corn. And if they do, they get their hands chopped off by the drug lords that run the fucking that run these factory farms and make money off of them. And then the rivers are poisoned by the excess of excrement and blood and guts. And then many villages go into drought and don't have enough for their own crops. And then they're, you know, like, those are not my problems. So why am I ever going to be mad? Why am I ever going to?
Yeah, when you compare it to that, our problems are remedial.
And we got to be mindful of that because the world's problems is our problems. And if we're not mindful of it, then we live in this bubble, this parallel universe where we're mad because our phone's not charged. Mm-hmm. You know, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, my battery doesn't last like it used to.
Speaking about racism, 2020, the current state of things, what do you feel about, you know, politics creeping into the octagon, creeping into the sport in such a prevalent way as it did, for example, last night with Woodley versus Colby? You know, pretty much, you know, Republican versus Democrat. You know, you might as well pin it like that. What do you think about that? What do you think about politics creeping into the actual octagon? You know, Colby wearing a "Make America Great" hat, "Make America Great Again" hat, and then Tyron wearing a hat that said "Make Racists Catch the Fade Again." Shout out Tyron.
That's an awesome hat.
Red and two same font. Shout out Woodley. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, I definitely feel that, you know, as public figures, we do have a pedestal to bring awareness to the situations that are doing harm to our country or our tribe, basically, or our people, the people that we're coalescing with to make this shit work. You know, yeah, we should address these issues, but there are better ways of addressing these issues. And not only that, if we're so tired of the way that they're handling things, then we have to change our minds about the problem. We're trying to fix a broken system. You know, whether you're white, black, Latino, Arabic, Japanese, whatever it may be, the system screws us all. If you're not rich, you know, you're pretty much in a ditch. You know, you're just waiting.
That's valid.
So it's just, I think we have to let go of our preconceived notions, like these things that separate us, cultures, religion, politics, especially. You know, these things are Saul Williams, I think this is where I heard it from. He's a poet. He says it the best. He says, beliefs are police of the mind. So fuck the beliefs.
Fuck the beliefs.
Because it acts as a filter, so before you act as a human and you might see somebody in trouble, you begin to start put these filters on. Well, like I know this is an extreme case, but actually is more true than not, like before you do an act, and it could be an act of kindness, you'll ask yourself, is it a Christian act of kindness, or is it a Catholic act of kindness, or should I help him because he's this or that, or I'll tell my kids not to play with them because I was raised this way. So you can see where like religion can be like that, in politics as well. So so you can be talking to somebody, the minute you find out what he believes in, you're no longer friends with the guy, or you automatically have a...
Yeah, I had seen
fit a profile
I had
already.
seen there was a church service, and they're showing things on the screen, and they'll kind of be like, daily tasks, daily tasks that you can do to kind of like be a better Christian or whatever the case. And one of them was unfollow 3 people on social media that don't post about Christ. And it's like,
and you can see where these things are taken to the extreme, and it causes an actual void between people, and then we have racism. I don't believe, I understand that there's systematic racism, but I don't believe in races in that sense, because there's only one race. We're humans,
Right.
We all reproduce the same way. We all defecate the same way. We all die the same way. We all come into this world the same way. And I don't care if you're Muslim or Christian. If I was a crazy motherfucker and I went and killed both your moms, you're both going to feel the same way about me. Mm-hmm. So we all have the same reciprocal emotional concepts, like we're not going to, the differences that we have are the ones that we made up.
Yeah. Everyone kind of builds their archetypes in their head based on ethnicity, based on whatever you want, something you've seen on TV or whatever. But yeah, you're right. Absolutely.
So ideally, would you want to keep, things like religion and politics outside of, when you're promoting a fight or whatever, would you want it to be a rule that you can't speak about that sort of thing?
Well, I would like to keep it out of the human race as possible, to be honest with you. I think these things are, religion is good for what it is, and it's a crutch, Mm-hmm. But when you leave a hospital, the doctor wouldn't advise you to live on crutches the rest of your life, or else your muscles are going to develop wrong. The same way, if you live on religion your whole life and don't use it as a moral crutch, your morals are going to end up fucked up. And then you become this person that sensationalize these, how would you say, these figure of speeches, these stories that should help you to increase your moral fiber. Now you take them to an extreme, or you try to make your own interpretations.
Yeah, they get bastardized along the way for sure.
Exactly. And it's crazy because at the end of the day, if you are religious and your God is just and infallible and cannot be wrong, omniscient and everything, all powerful, all knowing, how the fuck are you going to make an interpretation for him? He said what he said.
That was nice.
He said what he said. So to me, we're going to be real about it, because religion is very disciplined, is very strict if we look at the basis of religion. And let's just take a newer version of it, like the Old Testament. The Old Testament, which is the oldest form of the new religion that we practice now, which is the New Testament. Why is there a New Testament? So God made a mistake. The one who doesn't make mistakes made a mistake. And we got to rewrite some of the shit. Because when he first came out on the scene, he told motherfuckers how it was.
Yeah.
And then we're like, okay, I guess we can't keep it up, so let's write a new one and let's do it our way now.
2.0.
As long as we ask for
it's the patch update.
It's the patch update.
And as long as we ask for forgiveness, then we're straight,
It's iOS 14 right there.
What do you feel like your routine on a day-to-day basis? What time do you usually wake up?
6 or 5 in the morning.
All right, 5 in the morning, you wake up. What's the first thing you do?
I go downstairs.
I'm sorry, did you say 5 in the morning?
Yeah.
That went way over. What the fuck, bro?
It didn't even register with you.
I just can't sleep past 6,
Like, there's too much shit going on?
No, I just wake up. I'm just up.
God, I wish,
damn,
bro.
dude.
That's why I asked. I want like a breakdown of more so your routine and how it allows you to not only be, I guess you could say, morally connected with yourself, but with your own core beliefs. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get up 5 in the morning, go brush your teeth,
Well, I know I'm gonna have like a certain amount of beliefs. You know, I definitely gotta have some belief in myself and things that are intangible at the moment. But I try to believe in the things that are real, or in a sense that work. You know, like that are here now. And so I do believe in the fact that when I wake up at 5 a.m, I go downstairs. The first thing I do is drink water. You know,
Hydrate yourself.
and just drink water. You know, like it feels good, feels great. And then I start to stretch a little bit as my coffee's brewing, and then I do just a small little exercise, like some push-ups, squats, maybe a little sit-ups on when my coffee brews, and I'll drink my coffee and chill. Usually I roll up a J. And I'm chilling outside. But now I got this fucking coffee mug that's got a bowl like built.
Oh, I have seen that. Yeah.
That wake and bake, boy.
The roasting toast.
That roasting toast.
Rastafari.
That's beautiful right there.
So I've been playing around with that. But other than that, I do that. And once that's, I usually go to train at 8 a.m. If it's on the weekdays. Usually on the weekends, I'll try to do some gardening outside. But then it's really up to the day, you know, where it takes me after that. I really don't make plans. I'm up for whatever. But at the moment, I got a lot of shit to do at the house I just moved in, so I'm remodeling everything.
So it's safe to say, very, very safe to say, that your approach to everything, even in the fighting, you're more of a situational type of guy.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Where in the sense,
just
where in the sense, you know, it's like you said before, you don't have a set game plan before you go into a fucking fight. You know, you read your opponent at that moment, at that situation. Because who's to say that person has a set game plan, and who's to say that that person is actually going to follow through that game plan? And, I mean, again, correct me if I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I mean by situational. You know, you're more of a guy who reads a situation right then and there and acts accordingly.
yeah, yeah. Sometimes I might have plans and whatnot, but for the most part, it's what happened already happened.
Right.
You know, you can learn from it, but that's about it. And what hasn't happened, exactly, hasn't happened yet. So,
it's not relevant.
yeah, it's not in existence yet. At the moment, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. Like right, for instance, I wake up in the morning, I do my morning routine. If I get my workout in at 8 in the morning, and if I don't, I get it in at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, or maybe 3 is be the latest. And I'm really just doing what needs to be done, you know, whatever's gonna get me a little bit one step ahead. I mean, I know training does that for me, but like every day I come back home and I gotta, I'm building the garden in the back, so I'll build one planter's box and okay, boom, that's done. And the next day, maybe I gotta change the pipes for the bathroom. I'm doing that, take up the tile. So little by little, you know, just, you know, chipping away at it, and I appreciate the progress. And I think a lot of us get caught in a loop, for a sense, that we're always living for what's around the corner, and we just don't enjoy the walk down the street.
I wanted to there was something I was kind of curious about. The UFC as a whole kind of has this image of being right wing, you know, for whatever reason, you know, Dana's biffles with Trump, whatever. Do you feel that, and not necessarily yourself, but fighters who don't often share those same political views, do you feel that they're treated differently by the organization or no?
Nah, man. They don't treat me any differently, and I don't hold no political views. You know, like to quote a Myrtle Technique, and
Hell yeah.
not saying that, you know, I'm gonna do this. I'm saying I voted for assassination. You know?
I like the disclaimer before.
Yeah. I like the
But
disclaimer.
no, but in all seriousness, I don't believe. I just don't get into politics at all. Like, I really don't really care what's going on. I know that no matter what president we have, whoever's at the forefront, nothing changes. I'm still paying fucking taxes.
It's essentially untouched.
You know,
you're essentially untouched. Yeah.
Yeah. I still got to abide by the same fucking laws that are out there. Now they just get a little bit more restrictive. That's the only thing that changes, is that I got less space to move in. And I mean, it's a lot more space than a lot of other countries have.
It's still a lot of space though. Yeah.
Yeah. But I can see where we're going into a direction where they want all the control. And I think the only way that we win, you know, honestly, because I don't believe it's politics or governments that run the fucking world. It's corporations. It's the people that make the goods and stuff. That's who funds these politicians. You know, like the people that make for the most part, make the food and drugs that we take. That's why it's the Food and Drug Administration, all those corporations that are in there and constantly lobbying for these laws to subsidize their products or be able to be pushed upon the public. Right now, we're in this medicine phase where they're trying to push these vaccines and different types of medicines on us because we're in a health pandemic and crisis and whatnot. And you can see where it ties into the food as well, because they're going to tell you, oh, you need to eat a certain way and do this and this and that. But they've been doing that for years. I mean, the minute you turn on the TV, every ad is nearly a food ad, and they tell you what to eat for not to be a pussy, or, you know, it's true though. And then we go out and they make it look delicious and everything. And then you eat that shit long enough, you know, you got to start, you're going to be susceptible to pandemics like this. I didn't get sick. I wasn't fucking unhealthy at all. Were
you ever concerned regarding, you know, you were healthy, we know that, but were you ever concerned about someone from your team popping? As far as Corona, that's what I mean. Popping for Corona, popping for Corona.
No, because me and Enrico Coco, we did this last camp. So this last camp, I even had less to worry about because we're both vegans. So
it was just both of you.
Yep, just me and him, and
nice.
There was nothing to worry about. And he's healthy, I know, and we're very conscious people. You know, we take care of ourselves, and I wasn't ever worried about this. I just knew it's mostly bullshit. You know, like,
yeah.
It's.
Where do you stand on this? Be real with me. If you think it's all bullshit, you think it's all bullshit.
I think it's a flu, and there's flus that killed more people. You know, so I just think it's a flu. Honestly, people just get sick, and I think it just got over sensationalized. Bro, look how fucking we're over sensationalizing this, these riots and all this other crazy crap. Look what they do. They hire motherfuckers to go break windows and spray paint shit so that they can make this shit a bigger issue, you know, but when it really isn't that really big of an issue. So I think the powers that be have a very good hand at making things a lot bigger than what they seem. You know, I think on an individual basis, especially when you meet anybody, they are smart individuals. They can have some type of respect and understanding for each other. But when you group people together and you separate them into groups and stuff, and you start saying like this group is this way, and that, like, people become fucking idiots, man. It's just, and it's crazy where you think logic and common sense would stand up, you know, it just gets completely thrown out the window. And we're supposed to be what? The supreme being on this earth, you know, the most high, the most intelligent mammal to ever walk this planet. And
the only thing we are is the most high, bro. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
It's a damn fact.
I just feel like extremists really put a bad rep out for us as humans.
But I don't think it's just the extremists. I think it's the way the powers that be, and they use the media to brighten that dark spot, you know, in society.
Would you agree the media would be like the top notch, like tool per se, to kind of like convince somebody?
Well, for sure. That's why they're called programs. You watch a program to become programmed. You know,
ooh, that's a bar. That's a bar. He said you watch a program to be programmed.
Well, like, think about it. Like, let me give you a fine example, right? And we all go through this. When you're a child, what do you need to drink for strong bones?
Lechita.
From what? Commercials, right? That's where you remember that shit from. So you got programmed into thinking you need to drink the lactation secretions of cows. We're the only animal on earth that drinks milk after weaning, let alone from another animal. No other animal does that. You know, there was an insult in ancient times when somebody would drink milk after weaning, they'll call you a milk drinker. It means you were like a bitch.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you shouldn't drink milk.
Un toma leche.
Yeah, you shouldn't drink milk after weaning. You're a grown man now. No animal does that. It's actually too acidic. And your body would leach calcium from your bones to buffer the acidity in your bloodstream before you die. And therefore, that's why you have people that drink milk their whole life have a higher rate of hip fractures and osteoporosis.
I'm gonna start calling people milk drinkers now.
Thank you for putting me on game to that, because I never knew that. I always had a hunch that cow milk just isn't the way to go, so I'll drink almond milk. But wow, never knew that. Thank you. I needed that. Thank
Do you partake in
Cow milk with a little bit of cereal is good,
do
though. I
you
gotta say
partake
it.
in other milks or not?
Oh yeah, definitely. I drink almond milk. I drink
Shout out almond milk.
any type of plant milk, really.
Oh yeah.
I'll try them all. I make my own sometimes.
Cashew milk, that's just fire. What? How do you make your own milk though?
No, it's easy. What I usually do is I take whatever nuts I have and I'll grind them up, and then it's just like grinding them up. You put them in a cheesecloth and you just run water through them, and then let that and do it.
This guy's fucking out there, huh?
Wait, so it's
Jesus.
just you pass the nuts through water?
Is it like boiling
that's all
water
it
or
is?
just regular water?
Yeah, but like I grind it up first.
Oh, okay.
Into like a nut powder, and then I pass it through water. No, not boiling water. It could be any.
Just regular ass.
Yeah, just regular water.
Damn.
You could do it a few times. You can squeeze in. It'll come out a little bit thicker. Yeah, through a cheesecloth so it doesn't. You don't get the pulp.
Thick milk just sounds gross, bro.
Damn. Bro, y'all a bunch of milk drinkers, bro. I'm gonna tell you that.
I'm gonna start using that for sure. Thank you for that, by the way.
Yo, you're a milk
Because they're not gonna know what hit him. I'm like, you're a fucking
milk drinking
drinker, bro.
ass,
And we're like, oh, I do drink milk. Wow, what did he just say to
milk
me?
drinking KS ass dog. Like,
Because that's a super PC insult. Tell me you fucking milk drinker, bro. I swear to God, dude.
what? Actually, first of all, everybody knows. Every week we got 2 segments. Currently 2 segments, working on a couple more. You know what I'm saying? And the first one is the film review of the week. And really, it could be like an entertainment review of the week. Because sometimes we do a little TV show, we do a little movie, we do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So this week, why don't you, Alex, bless us? I know you are the king when it comes to anime. You know what I'm saying? Why don't you tell us, why don't you give the people a recommendation for an anime that they must check out?
Well, my favorite animes of all time would be Samurai Champloo and Cowboy Bebop.
Boom. Boom. You see them on the screen.
The soundtrack for Cowboy Bebop,
so
bro.
Cowboy, what was the other one?
Samurai Champloo.
Boom. You see it on the screen. I asked again because I had to get the picture for later. I heard shampoo at first.
So did I. I'm glad you asked again.
So give us a little bit of a rundown. What is Samurai Champloo about?
It's about 2 samurais basically cut from a different cloth, but they're both great fighters. They become rivals and they just get into like some crazy samurai adventures. One's an outlaw, one's like a straight edge, but they just fuck shit up. The guy that's an outlaw, he does like breakdancing in his moves and whatnot.
Damn, I can see the influence already, bro.
So it's a pretty cool show there.
1 out of 5 stars. What would you give it?
Let's give it 5.
5, and I love it because it makes my job easier. You know what I'm saying? I love it. And Cowboy Bebop as well, 5 stars, correct?
Yeah.
I have to check that out.
The soundtrack for that is
It's a dope
ridiculous,
soundtrack.
dude.
The fight scenes
Honestly,
are amazing
very
too.
cool. Yeah.
They're more realistic too.
Yeah?
Yeah, because there's no superpowers and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you more of an anime guy compared to like traditional movies or?
I like them both, I guess the allure that catches me with anime mostly is that the fact that I'm a sci-fi buff, I like science fiction, I like
Hell
things,
yeah.
especially with mystery. So I read a lot of those types of books. So when it comes to watching movies, shows, or like Lost in Space is like one of my favorite books. And also now they came out with the show and they have those old movies. So like those are things that I was just always into.
And so what would you say, when you're going to have a fight, are you trying to focus on it, or are you making an active effort to not think about the fight, to think, play video games, watch something, are you trying to get your mind off of it?
No, I'm always aware of it. It's there and I keep it there. But to me, it's, I can't say it's like I'm getting ready to do something exciting. Like for instance, I'm getting ready to go on a trip. So I have this anxiety because it's similar, but obviously fighting is that much more. Like you're expecting something greater. I guess it's similar to like, going out on a first date with a chick and, you're expecting, something's going to happen. Are you ready? In that sense, but you're playing it cool and you're trying to be normal at the same time.
That was a perfect fucking analogy. I got
beautiful.
exactly what he was saying.
I got a reservation at the Cheesecake Factory. It's about to go down.
You got it planned out, but then you don't want the plan to go wrong. Or like if you're like me, then you don't have it planned out. You just kind of
winging it.
I like the way you think.
Winging it.
I
Alex, what would you say? I guess is from the moment that you first started mixed martial arts, and from the moment that you first had your UFC debut, what would you say are some of the iconic moments that you can refer back to on your career? That if you were to snap your fingers, and that's the entirety of the 10 years that you've culminated so far in the UFC, and many more to go. What moments stand out to you that you'd be like, damn, like that was wow.
Like my entire career, or
Yeah, just any moments that kind of stand out to you that that are very meaningful, that very impactful to you.
well, the beginning of my career was kind of a haze.
Oh yeah.
I was a lot younger then, and when I started fighting at 18. So the minute I started coming into money after fights, I was partying quite a bit, and I was in Miami, so
I mean, that's
One
what
and
all
one
of
is
us will
two.
do,
1 and 1 is 2. So
I was able to grow out of it at a pretty early age, though. I would say when I was 22, 23, I was a lot calmer.
That's mature, yo. That's mature. That's serious.
Dude.
That's hella good.
Because I'm still there, dude.
And I think that's when I started actually just wanting to explore the world in that sense. So the first most memorable experience I had was my first fight in Japan. Ooh. Traveling overseas for the first time and being in a completely different culture. The shock was amazing. It was just a beautiful place. And I didn't really stay in after the fight. I stayed like a month after, and I didn't stay in a hotel.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Shit.
I didn't stay in a hotel. I just stayed with one of my friends' training partners from the gym at his house.
Oh,
and
shit.
they lived in a nice traditional Japanese house. And I stayed in the guest house behind their like little land, and it was
shit.
like
So you had the full-on experience, bro. Yeah, you had the Ultimate Fighter Japan over here. Like,
and we eat breakfast every morning with the family and everything, and have tea and everything.
Now,
it was really
you
nice.
said traditional. So did they have chairs when they were eating at the table?
No, we will be kneeling down.
Oh, dude,
my
I
knees, see the way
can't
my
do
knees
that,
are.
bro.
I would.
Or you can sit down. I mean, if you
have
want to.
shit.
Can we do
knees, bro.
crisscross applesauce?
Yeah, you could do that.
My legs will fucking fall asleep,
yeah,
bro. I
for
can't do
real.
shit.
But the floors are soft. They have the kanji floors, the bamboo, like it's like a.
And there's no shoes allowed, right?
No, the shoes come off at the front.
I mean, that's kind of Miami too, in a sense. Miami has kind of adopted that tradition, in case you haven't noticed. Wow. And I guess what would you say? What were some of the biggest culture shocks when you were in Japan?
Well, the fact that it's more crowded than New York City, but you'll never bump into anybody.
What do you mean?
Everybody's very aware of their personal space. They're
like physically bump into them.
Yeah, they're they're not assholes. They're just
Super polite people, man.
Yeah, like they're even like making lines in the subway, like
try and walk through New York, man. It ain't gonna.
Yeah, it's like fucking pinball.
It might start a fight like before you get to where you're going, like.
for real. Oh my god!
But that was one of the biggest culture shocks. The stuffing of the subways, another one. Where they have to stuff people in the subways and shit just to get to where you're going.
Did they stare at you because you look different than them?
No, definitely. Like everybody wants to touch your hair.
Oh my god! Are you serious?
That's fucking hilarious, bro.
I had an afro, and then there was like they thought I was a wig the whole time, and I'm like, no.
We had a guest come on. We had a guest, Jarrell Brown. Shout out Jarrell Brown. And he's actually an actor, and he was doing in Universal Studios Japan. He was playing Frankenstein, and he would tell me that when he would get out of costume, and he didn't have anything on. He wasn't green. He didn't have the prosthetics, nothing. Just because he was like a 6'2", 6'3", big dude. That obviously didn't, with tattoos, they don't look like them at all. They would ask to take pictures, like he was a celebrity.
That's awesome as fuck.
Full on. But wow, that's amazing. Have you been back since?
Yeah, I went back for a second fight actually, and I went with my wife, and we had a great time. We actually hiked Mount Fuji.
Wow.
We stayed at the old town, so we were actually staying in more rural, like inns and stuff, like where just everything's like on the floor and stuff. It was nice, and the bathhouses were another big culture shock. Like it's the fact that they have one almost on every corner. It's like literally you get off of work, you can pay $5 and
It's a normal thing, right?
it's a normal thing. Like take a steam room like 30 minutes and just go home and relax and shit. Like it's
And they're like open. Like you're just hanging out there with a bunch of people and shit.
Yeah, over here, if you go to the Turkish baths, you're a pervert. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta
Yeah,
be
that's for
careful.
perverts for sure. Yeah.
For sure.
and they sell alcohol in vending machines.
Now we need to adopt that shit. You know.
Yep.
Bro.
They used to
What?
sell. They used
We
to
need to
sell
adopt that.
shrooms, but they outlawed it.
What?
Yeah. They
Are you
used-
serious?
And
Shrooms
Colorado
in the-
was like, send them over here, bro.
Send them
over
my
here.
way. Damn. No, I actually
Jesus,
watch a YouTube channel that basically all they do is show Japanese vending machines. You can get a whole ass pizza, bro. You get a damn buffalo
pizza?
bro. You get anything off a vending machine. It's crazy.
Yeah, and they got some crazy vending machine, like bottles of alcohol, like
Yeah,
bottles.
Oh, I thought maybe like beer. You mean like
No,
liquor?
you can get beer, yeah, but liquor,
Like a liquor
bottles.
store.
Dude, no.
Like-
You know what? I take
wouldn't-
it
I
back.
wouldn't
Don't bring it
survive.
here. Don't bring it here because I would be very ineffective.
You got to think about it too. Like there's so much respect and honor that they have for their family in Japan that, like to do something like that, especially if you're a kid, they're almost deterred from it because it's dishonorable and
To
disrespectful.
what? To purchase the bottle?
Well, to be getting drunk as a kid, and
Yeah.
doing stupid shit, like so.
We're very different cultures.
Yeah, they're
In the West, it's the fucking opposite,
Yeah.
bro. It's honor. Like you bring honor to your group, bro. I snagged this fucking bottle, dude.
Bro.
Let's have a fucking night. No,
And that's
that's aggressive, dude.
That's dumb.
Yeah, no. Actually, I'm glad there's no vending machines here because nothing would get done.
no.
Yeah,
A
bro.
lot of them will be broken into, man.
Actually, you know what?
Oh, that's so true.
You know what? I'll probably buy the first one and then use the bottle.
And then you'll be like, "What? That was stupid
Yeah.
as fuck."
You can. I don't want to use my own, thing. So it's
Like
I
the
mean-
college thing where they steal the stop signs and they hang them up on the walls. There'd be fucking vending machines all over college dorms,
Bro,
dude.
but not only that, like you can find your way around it. You put a little cinta, a little tape at the end of the bill, put that sucker in, pull it out. You know what I'm saying? It still registers, it still reads it.
Not everything's done with a card, I guess, and it's crazy. Like everybody's credit card is basically their Metro pass. I have one. I still have mine. Like I can, and it still works. If I go back to Japan, I can put money on it and use it.
That's technology.
And you just tap it, just bleep, done. I want that one. I want that one.
Alex, what would you say are some of your long-term ambitions or goals post UFC?
Well, I always want to train martial arts, and I feel like the martial arts definitely has a lot to give, to human beings in the ways of understanding themselves and each other. But ultimately, like if I had to put more physical goals in front of me, I really want to have more land. I would like to purchase more land eventually so that I can, I guess, in a way, without revealing too much,
Of course.
bring my ideas into fruition, and I know I just need my own space for that.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely want land too, man. I feel like that's become more of a goal that a lot of people have.
Well, yeah, man. And it's,
Especially living in a city, you realize how important it is.
well, it's very important. And, I think it's just getting back to human nature, man. We're kind of getting disconnected with what we really are, who we really are. And we're becoming literally, we turn from survivalists into consumers, basically,
Yeah.
and little more than scavengers at that, to be honest with you. We're looking for the thin pickings. We're just always on survival mode, trying to get by. When I think in this day and age and our advancements in technology and in knowledge in general, we shouldn't have to be worrying about the basic necessities of life, because we have the technology, we have the understanding and the know-how to give everybody the basic necessities, but it's not profitable. And that's why we keep the basic necessities away from most people.
Yeah, that's definitely in a minute. And that goes back to what you were saying about the corporations. It's just not profitable, therefore.
Exactly. So like,
not
it doesn't matter what a
propagated.
politician says, oh, we're going to bring power to poor communities. You're not, because it's not profitable for the corporations that got you into the lobby in the first place.
Right. Right.
Alex, what are some of the meanings or stories behind some of your tattoos?
Well, this was actually an idea from the anime Samurai Champloo.
Okay, all right. You know what
So,
I'm saying? And
well-
that's the film review of the week, or really, TV show of the week anime.
Well, I can't say it's from the actual anime. Like I learned about it from the anime, but this is a tattoo that they would give to outlaws in Japan. So that's like they're forever branded as outlaws, if they were caught. So that's the representation of being an outlaw, because there is no, I don't like, how would you say? It's hard for me to identify with like following rules,
Gotcha.
like for instance, especially the ones that pertain to myself that doesn't do harm to nobody else, like why am I paying you money for not wearing my seatbelt in my car?
Right.
If I die, then I
It was
fucking
my
die.
choice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So like you're like, oh, we're making you pay to save your life. No, bro, you're just extorting me. But that's one thing. Or for instance, like smoking weed. Like that's
Yeah.
Now they're just starting to think about releasing people that they put in jail for weed. No, but common sense should tell you, no, let them out. Especially now that you got other motherfuckers making millions of dollars off of it. And you put this motherfucker away for a dime bag, like
Yeah.
it's fucking ridiculous. So like things like that, I just don't go well with rules in that sense. If my personal freedom does not encroaches on your freedom, then I don't believe there should be a law against it. Like my freedom ends where yours begins. And if I understand that, we live in harmony, no matter what.
Totally agree.
So what are these little tiny rules and regulations that we need? And honestly, they're there to make you slip up, catch you on the slip, so that they can nickel and dime you for what they got and keep you as a victim. So you never rise above that. You never achieve your true potential. You never realize who you truly are because you're constantly living on survival mode and surviving on shit. It doesn't really mean anything. A made up piece of paper. That's why I tell people, you make money, put it into something that's going to last. And most property lasts. So put it into property and then land. Invest in yourself, especially. And what I mean by that too, don't skimp on the shit you're feeding yourself, man. You're a human being. You're created in his image, if you want to believe in that. So you're the next to the Most High. Therefore, eat like a fucking God King. You know what I'm saying? Eat the best possible shit. It got GMOs in it? Fuck you. You know what I'm saying? I need the organic shit. I need the thing that fits over my body. I treat myself, my temple, as if it's a, immaculate palace. I don't want to filth it up.
Alex, what's your diet like? What's your diet like? Talk to us. Why is your diet such a vital part of your well-being, your success? Talk to us about.
Well, you ever heard you are what you eat?
Amen.
So I do have like comfort foods. They're vegan, of course. Like they have the burgers now and everything.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I want
quinoa burger.
Yeah. For the most part, I want to make most of what I eat throughout the day living food. I want it to be alive. My body, I want it to be a garden. I don't want it to be a morgue. So I don't want to fill it with dead things, And then it resonates that way. That's why I wake up at 5 a.m. That's when the plants wake up. That's when they taste the sun. The minute the sun cracks into the window, I'm going to be up. I'm charged. So
At what time you go to sleep?
8 to 10, probably, give or take. And I think we truly are what we eat, man. It truly resonates within us. And when we think about it logically, and I'm not sure if I said this in the last show, but I know I say this, especially when I'm talking to people when they want to like make little changes in their life or maybe look at it differently. We got to understand that there is a deeper connection with what you put into your body than you think and what is inside of your body. And not only that, the thoughts that anything thinks or the thoughts of a certain situation, how it affects the things inside your body and the world around you. You ever heard of Dr. Emoto? He's a scientist.
No, I can't say I have.
Scientist in Japan. He started doing these crazy experiments where he took this microscope, special microscope, and started taking pictures of water, water particles as they freeze from different water sources. So he took one from like, a clean reservoir, and some from like a dirty place. And he took pictures of them and he saw that the clean one was more had more structure in it, where the dirty one didn't have structure. The molecular structure was kind of off. Then he took it a little further. So he starts to write positive and negative letters on different bottles of water, freeze them and take pictures of them. Every time it was positive, the water molecules will structurize themselves as like a crystalline snowflake, prismatic effects, beautiful, whatever the word it was. It might be love. Love would crystallize a certain way. Gratitude would crystallize a certain way.
I have heard this actually, yeah.
And every time it was a negative word, it wouldn't have any shape or structure whatsoever. It wouldn't structure itself. It was just a blob. It looked almost ugly and whatnot. So now he took it a step further. He says, okay, fuck writing it on it. Now I'm just going to think the words to it or think the ideas to it. Same thing happened. Then saying the words to it, same thing happened. So now we understand that our actions, our words, and even our thoughts affect how water structurizes itself. We're 80% water. The world is about 80% water. Everything we eat, the food that we eat, has a lot of water in it. So what are the thoughts? What are the emotions? What are the energies that are resonating within the foods, the world, the environment that you live around and inside your body? What are they feeling? What are they understanding? And we have to understand that these emotions and these feelings are chemical compositions released by the brain when we feel them, and they are absorbed into our cellular function. So our cells actually feel these emotions, which is why when we feel dread or depressiveness, we feel it. You know, we just don't think it. We feel it. And every living being has this capacity, even plants. What do the animals that have to die suffer in factory farms their whole lives? Get their children ripped away from them so that you can take their milk, or slay them when they're young so that the meat's a little bit more tender. What do they feel constantly? Being pumped full of chemicals, injected full of hormones and other pesticides and shit, and fed unnatural foods. What do they feel constantly? I can't imagine because I was there, but you can't imagine the difference of feeling you would have when you stop eating negative emotions, because that's what these animals are feeling. The only thing that a plant can feel is that upward thrusting towards the sun. You know, I want to drink light. No matter what's on top of me, rock, dirt, whatever, I'm going to push through and make it to the sky. And then we say, oh, but they feel pain when you pick the fruits. And no, that's them propagating. That's how they spread their seed. You know, the only pain that they would feel would be that of child labor, if that was a pain, you know, but that was a glorious thing. That's how they make more of themselves. So you're not killing the plant. The same way you can't bury bones and grow another animal.
Right.
You can only bury the seeds and grow another plant. So you're actually helping that plant by eating it, taking it in the digestive tract, and then the excrement would fertilize the seeds and make them grow. That's what birds, animals, and everything else does. So I think we just kind of lost touch with what we really are.
What was the catalyst? What made you, view it like this? What made you open your eyes to these sort of things? Was it a PETA video? What made you change your opinion?
Well, I started doing this for cutting weight purposes mostly. But to be honest, the more and more I started doing it, I started feeling differently about these things, like I guess the feeling different would also be the fact that the more I started doing it, the more I wanted to learn about it. And the more I started to learn about it, the more I can see that it was tied to deeper things than just a physical thing. Like it wasn't just, oh, you eat differently, so you're going to perform differently in a physical nature. But I do realize that you think differently as well. And I've noticed that there's a clarity in my mind that I never had before. And it's something that I'll never give up either. Where, I wouldn't really read books before, I consume books, I like to read them now, I like to do puzzles. I like to challenge my brain as much as possible. And I just don't get tired. That's one of the biggest things, man. My energy levels are always good. My body feels great. Like I used to have pains and aches at a young age, when I went vegan at 23, I believe, and at that young, I was having like chronic issues and like elbows and knees and shit, like and ankles and whatnot. And it's just the acidic nature of our diet most of the time. The mucus buildup, the fact that we wrap all the shit that could do harm to our body around with fat. That's why we create fat, is to keep the toxins away from intermingling with our body. Because why? Our body is water. And what happens when you put oil in water? It separates, which is why the fat is carried on the outside of us. It cannot mix in because fat is lighter than water, less dense, so it's going to separate from us. That's why we hold it on the outside. And I don't know, like it's crazy. Like all these thoughts just come together, and then I'm like, man, then why am I doing it any other way? Why am I not trying to like drive this Ferrari with premium fuel? Why am I putting regular gas in this motherfucker?
Do you think it's impossible for someone to be in a relationship with someone who doesn't share the same views when it comes to something as important as this is to you?
I would see there would be. I wouldn't say anything's impossible. I've seen people do it,
But you don't have to go through that predicament, luckily, right?
Yeah, I don't have to go through that predicament, and I just don't see it being too healthy in that sense. Because
What, having 2 kitchens, pretty much.
yeah,
Yeah, 'cause that's a major obstacle right
You
there.
know,
well, yeah,
dinner night. You know, how do you do that?
well, it would be an obstacle. But it's hard, like going vegan. When I was transitioning, it was difficult, like to eat with friends and family and whatnot, and it was almost, and it wasn't just because like they have lots of vegetables, like they would cook lots of vegetables. They cook the shit in lard or put butter in it. It's like, oh, you can just do it without it. It'll be the same. You don't. But
Yeah, it's an issue I have with my brother. He's vegan as well. Busts his balls all the time.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, for those who don't know, I hope you do by now. We have a segment, in this here show, and that is called The Quest for the Truth. And in the quest for the truth, I pull out a card from this here deck, and I ask a random question to everybody. So let's see what we get from this bad. Okay. Not too bad. Not too intense. Sometimes I change it up. I like to keep everybody on their toes. When you were younger, what did you want to be when you grew up? And we'll start with Emi.
I guess when I was like little, like everybody, cop or a cowboy or a firefighter or a space guy or some shit like that. But I guess a little bit older, I just wanted to be in the army.
Oh yeah? What's a little bit older?
I mean, like elementary school, but like before elementary school. Yeah, before elementary school was just I want to be a cowboy or some shit,
Oh yeah.
just something cool I seen on TV or
Get some
something.
lassos in
Hell
there,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Be like Woody at Toy Story, bro, for sure.
Oh yeah. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Alex, when you were younger, what did you want to be when you grew up?
well, I guess when I was younger, before I wanted to be a fighter, because that's when everything like took that direction. But before that, I've always admired detectives and archaeologists.
Damn, bro, that's a random ass combination, by the way. That's dope.
Well, it's not really too random. Archaeologists
true.
are
They're
kind of
still-
like detectives.
yeah, okay.
they're-
But I said
Detectives
that
of the
Indiana
ground.
Jones
You know what I'm
right
saying?
there, dude.
Yeah.
That was my
That's
first thought, Indiana
Detectives
Jones
of
right
the
there.
ground.
Hell yeah.
What kind of like attracts you to that idea? I've always been kind of like into spy gadgets. I always thought that was
Dude,
cool.
spy gadgets with a shit for
Right.
sure.
Well, I think it's the same idea that attracts that what martial arts attracts out of me. It's the fact that the deeper you dig, the more of the origins you find out about yourself or your history or the history of this world. I feel like the further you can go in that sense. Like you definitely know where you're going when you know where you come from. In that sense. So I think, and you see it too, like especially like on the History Channel when they discover something, it's like, Thomas Edison invented the light bulb. No, that we actually found one in Baghdad. That was like, so somebody else invented it. So like that shows you that where we thought human beings we're actually a lot farther than that. So
Right.
that also gives you that much more room to grow, or for yourself to grow, because then you're kind of like, hey, I don't have to accept where I'm at because I know we're greater than this.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
And that's
Plus,
what martial arts does for me.
It's very cool to go to those sites, to like those ancient sites that they find,
Yeah.
go out for a little hike. It's very cool. It's a different, at least personally, it's like sometimes it's chilling, sometimes it's daunting, sometimes it's just, but you get this vibe off it. It doesn't matter. It's like it radiates something. It's very cool. It's very cool.
Real introspective.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, start thinking.
Yeah,
about
something stood
shit.
here once. Yeah, it's very cool.
Want to go to so was it Stonehenge? Is that what it's called?
Stonehenge, yeah.
Bro, I don't even know how they made that, man. Hey, but you can find out next episode. We'll figure it out. Ladies and gentlemen, before we wrap up, I just want to first off let's give a big hand of applause to our main man, Alex Caceres, for sliding through. You know what I'm saying? Second time in the,
Bruce Leeroy
there you
right
go.
there.
Give him a, second time in the Midnight in Miami vicinity. First time in the new studio. It's still coming up. What I'm saying, we're still getting everything together. But we're extremely ecstatic to have you here today. Sometimes you need a little action in your life. Sometimes you've been having a plateau. You've been having a little plateau in your life. You haven't had a little excitement in your life. What do you need, Raven? Boom, date night. Boom. How do you do date night? You have fight night. Alex Caceres, whatever he's fighting, boom, is a date. Boom, love it. Oh, Big O, she said that's a great date idea. All women in the world will love it. Oh my God, and that's a direct quote. You know what I'm saying? Alex, what do you got for the people before we wrap up?
Oh, nothing much, man. Just, to make a long story short, I guess, as people living on this planet, we all got to understand that we're in this shit together. What one country does to the world, it does to the entire world. I would like to see an earth without borders, not a one government, but just people that understand each other, that I'm a person, you're a person. I won't take away from you. You won't take away from me. We'll actually just give to each other. A world of interdependency, I think it's key. Not dependent and not independent, but interdependent. So you can come together, like a pyramid. That's why they stood the test of time.
Oh.
Hell yeah.
We support each other. But other than that, life is good.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
Man, and we can't wait to see you back in the octagon. Bruce Leeroy, this is a man who you can't reckon with. This man has been proven that he is a mixed martial artist, inside the octagon, but we thank him for coming on and just being a human being outside of it. Emi, you're real. You know what I'm saying? I love the shirt. Every Thursday at midnight, what do you do? It's midnight. You just had a little, you had a little sprint. You had a little, you had
some sprint drills.
You were doing some sprint drills. You're doing some, shadow
boxing.
Some shadow boxing. You were fighting, and you're tired. You get home, you take a little shower. iPhone 11, that shit's waterproof. Boom, you go on YouTube. Go Midnight in Miami, Alex Caceres, baby, and now you have an underwater experience. You just have a bubble bath, mani pedi, shout out, do the whole shebang, and it'll be beautiful. It'll be right. Every Thursday at midnight on where? On YouTube, on Instagram. Instagram only is like a 1 minute video, but you know what I mean. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Deezer. I don't even know what those are. Figure it out. You can find us every Thursday at midnight. If not Friday, when you're chilling, working, vibing, hopefully from home, you're staying safe. But if not, it's just a flu. Just like my man say, it's a flu. It's a flu. All right. Alex, again, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, and we can't wait for the next one. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been oh so very real. Till the next time, holla.
And it don't matter what the world thinks. You can say how you feel on Midnight in Miami. Where you can push it to the limit.